Distribution of long-lasting insecticidal net flat off in Akwa Ibom. Government orders release of impounded tricycles to owners. State descends on destroyers of its infrastructural facilities. Details of these and other stories in just a moment. Good morning and welcome to AKBC 45 News. I am Jeffrey Orok. Determined to reduce the prevalence of malaria in Akwa Ibom, the state government has flagged off the distribution of long-lasting insecticidal nets to households in the state. The representatives of malaria control partners and donor agencies. Patient John tells us more.
The flag-off exercise formed by Governor Godswill Akpabio, represented by the Commissioner for Health, signaled the commencement of the distribution of the 2.7 million long-lasting insecticidal nets for residents of the state. While commending the efforts of the federal government and other partners for pooling resources together to fight malaria, the governor appealed for more support. According to him, reports have shown impressive progress in the reduction of malaria in Africa, where 34% reduction has been recorded between 2000 and 2013. Governor Akpabio promised his administration's continuous support to control malaria and save lives.
I would assure you that we would try to ensure, that every area of Uyo and indeed the state is covered. So please, if you have not received your net card, please kindly reach us at the ministry, so let us know and be able to map your location to ensure that we can do an effective mop-up. And then also, as you receive these nets, please, an information has already been passed which I need to stress on very importantly. Please do not begin to use these nets immediately. Spread it out, hang it out under a shade, not the sun, for one day before you start to use it.
The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Ememeba Sibasi, who spoke through the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, appreciated efforts of the state government and donor agencies, including the National Malaria Elimination Program and the Global Fund, for their support aimed at promoting the well-being of the people.
Malaria remains a disease of public health significance, for which more concerted efforts needs to be articulated by both the public and private sector.
Goodwill messages were received from malaria control partners, including the World Health Organization, that of Malaria Action Programs by Dr. Imeakpan, and from the Global Fund, represented by Marian Talia. Others were Mr. Emeka Okafor from the Society for Family Health and the National Malaria Elimination Program. They commended the state for taking the lead in distributing the net, which they noted is free, and also called on all to prevent malaria by keeping their environments clean, as well as sleep in the long-lasting insecticidal mosquito net.
It is imperative to say that the use of early lines has been adopted as one of the key strategies for malaria prevention and elimination in Nigeria.
What we ask of you now, dear citizens of Akwa Ibom, is to encourage your communities to pick your nets and use them wisely.
Society for Family Health is a Nigerian non-governmental organization with a mission to empower Nigerians, particularly the poor and the vulnerable.
The greatest burden of malaria disease and death is borne by the poor people in the poorest country.
Mr. Tukbon led a demonstration on how to use the mosquito net. The Divine Helpers Organization, a community-based NGO, through a drama sketch, created an awareness on how to prevent malaria. Patience John reporting.
The Commissioner for Transport, Prince Godwin Tugude, has ordered the immediate release of all tricycle impounded by the State Task Force on Tricycle. He gave the directive when he paid an unscheduled visit to the headquarters of the task force located at the premises of the former AKTC Park along Ikorekpene Road, Uyo. Prince Chukwude, who was accompanied by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Dr. Effiong Abia, said the state government in the past months has received numerous negative reports on the activities of the task force, which he noted have contravened the terms of reference of the task force. He ordered the immediate release of all impounded tricycles to their owners. He reminded members of the task force that they can only impound a tricycle when the operator fails to purchase the 200 naira mandatory ticket or non-registration of the tricycle. The commissioner, however, advised tricycle operators to be low and keep to their lane while on the road. The commissioner and his entourage later visited Abak, Ikorekpene, and Oron General Motor Parks to spread the message of safety on the roads this Christmas season. The commissioner warned them against excessive speeding, wrong overtaking, overloading, and drinking while on duty to avoid road crashes. Responding the park, chairman of Ikorekpene Central Motor Park, Mr. Uwemomo Imo, and his counterpart in Oron, Mr. Effiong Bassi, thanked the commissioner for the visit, promising to carry out the directive of the state government. The efforts of the Akwa Ibom state government in making Uyo a more metropolitan city, which has involved the building of several infrastructural facilities as well as other beautification facilities, including walkways, overhead bridges, parks, and green areas, as well as a modern drainage system, is as the state has become a reference point to other states. However, these huge investments are being frustrated by certain people who abuse the organization and plan of the metropolis by setting up unapproved structures, destruction of the green areas and parks, as well as distorting the proper function of the modern drainage system. The report.
The authority has risen to the occasion with the aim of correcting the anomaly by embarking on a demolition tour of the capital city. The tour, led by the chairman of the agency, Mr. Moyan, covered the Ngwangiba, Ederakpan and Sikaredwok avenues and their environs. At Ngwangiba Road, opposite Uran Streets, the team marked an unapproved filling station under construction for blocking the mega drainage system connecting Oron Road, Urwad Streets, Ngwangiba Road, as well as Brook Streets. On Ederakpan and Sikaredwok avenues, the team ordered the arrest of Idurian, who had destroyed the green area and converted it to an illegal parking lot, defying several warnings and being in possession of 4 cars of different makes without documents. The team also marked an unapproved automobile servicing company, boutiques, block molding company, as well as an unapproved auto mechanic workshop. Commenting on the tour, the chairman of Uyo Capital City Development Authority, Mr. Moyan, described as unfortunate the stubborn attitude of some people who were bent on erecting structures on unapproved areas. He stressed that the agency was not in enmity with any individual or group, but rather has the duty of maintaining a certain level of sanity in development for overall public safety.
Everything must run the way it is expected to be run, irrespective of whoever is concerned. There are some structures that have been taken to conclusion that are not approved. Definitely they will pull down. They will be pulled down at their appointed.
On the perpetual destruction of the green areas on Ederakpan and Sikaredwok avenues by unapproved block molding companies, mechanic workshops and kiosks, the head of town planning of the Uyo Capital City Development Authority, Mr. Effiong Akpan, said the areas that constituted government right-of-way which had been trespassed must be recovered. Mr. Akpan also noted that the new filling station springing up on Wangiba Road opposite Uran Street did not comply with the approved standard of 1,000 square meters stipulated for a filling station and would not be allowed to exist because it also interfered with the major drainage channel. He warned that Whoever refuses to comply with the notices served by the Uyo Capital City Development Authority would be made to face the full wrath of the law.
Now that they have not complied, we are going to implement and make sure that the full weight of the law is applied on them.
While commenting on the illegal filling station under construction at Ngwangiba Road, the consultant engineer and designer of the underground drainage system, which the filling station project had interfered with, Engineer Basi Uso, noted that the siting of the station was not proper as it was distorting the proper functioning of the drainage system, especially through the covering of the massive manhole which is meant for regular desilting of the system.
It is going to be very unfortunate if we should have such serious projects like filling station at that point. It's going to interrupt the activities.
AKBT News also, through an interview with Mr. Basi Okpo, a principal land officer, said that compensations had been paid for the filling station by government since 2010.
The international president of Mbogong Parawa Ibibio, Parawa Monday Tukokwan, has again condemned the spate of bombings and other terrorist acts in part of the country. Parawa Monday Tukokwan made the condemnation during the last biennial General Assembly of the organization, which was convoked at the International Secretary of the Socio-Cultural Organization in Uyo. The story is here presented.
The Mbogo hemsmen called for an immediate truce between the federal government and the Boko Haram insurgents, urging government and political players to place unity and development of the state and nation above all parochial interests in the build-up to 2015 election. On the state of affairs of Mbogong Parawa Ibibio under his leadership, Akparawa Itokokwan said that as the 9th international president, he is working assiduously to implement the 6-point agenda of his administration. He enumerated some of his achievements to include the upgrading of infrastructure and educational standard at the Mbogo Unity Schools, Iduruan, continuation of ongoing projects at the International Secretariat Complex, re-engineering of the administrative organs of the Mbogo, visit to chapters in the diaspora to restore their confidence, welfare of members, and the fine-tuning of strategies for the commencement of the Mbogo Microfinance Bank.
I therefore encourage you to feel free to discuss and make objective contributions that will continue to sustain and promote the ideals of a great organization. In fact, every member is recognized as a stakeholder because this administration has no room for divide and rule tendencies.
Declaring the General Assembly open, the Grand Patron of Mbogong Parawa Ibibio, retired Air Marshal Nsika Kairwa, called on members to eschew bitterness and divisions and work in harmony for the betterment of Ibibio Rays and Akwa Ibom states. Air Marshal Kairwa, who commended the founding fathers of Mbogong Parawa Ibibio for their lofty vision, called on the present generation of leaders in the country to emulate their patriotic example.
You happen to have a chance to go to government or any other rich organization and you are a member of this body, use that opportunity to draw something home. That's the kind of power God has given us, and we must use the power for the organization, not to our selfish selves.
Presenting the Secretariat report of the organization for the period under review, the International Secretary of the organization, Akparawa James Edet, noted that the Mbogo had recorded remarkable milestones and urged officers and members to show more commitment and support to the leadership of the days ahead. Parawa James Edet spoke of the readiness of the International Secretariat to improve the administrative machinery, noting that already new innovations have been introduced for administrative convenience within the framework of Mbogong Parawa Ibibio.
Let me affirm the readiness of the International Secretariat as the engine room of the administration to sustain the drive for more accomplishments
General Assembly is held twice a year to take major decisions and policies for the socio-cultural organization. The General Assembly was attended by members from the 51 chapters of Mbong Parawai BBO in Nigeria and the diaspora.
There's also a live program.
More news after the break. Stay tuned.
We celebrate your successes, all the medals that you wear. We celebrate your selflessness, all the great names that you bear. We celebrate your hard work. We celebrate your courage. We celebrate good governance. God bless the governor. We celebrate good governance. God bless the governor.
You're welcome back. Youths in the state have been warned to desist from all forms of violence during the forthcoming general elections in Nigeria. A board member, Kwabum Broadcasting Corporation, Engineer Idonset Philip, gave the warning while addressing members of the Kokoye, a Break Campaign organization, and supporters in Nsirubium local government area. Etienne Ibanga reports.
The meeting, attended by elders, women, and youth, took place at Ikorokpanabiobium in Nsirubium local government area. Engineer Phillips said the warning became necessary to ensure peace in the state. He prevailed on youth to live responsible lives and prepare themselves to take the mantle of leadership instead of allowing themselves to be used as dogs. The board member pointed out that it was no longer fashionable for youth to portray themselves as agents of political violence, stressing that any politician who tries to engage youth in violent acts during the elections will not succeed, as the youth were now aware of the dangers involved in such acts. Engineer Philip encouraged the people to give absolute loyalty to Governor Godswill Akpabio administration and rally around the consolidation project in 2015.
My message to the youth of Nsirubium, as the youth of Nsirubium, is the fact that at all times you have to give loyalty. When I say loyalty, I mean absolute loyalty to the government of the day in all our paths, as far as the business of politics and electioneering is concerned.
A former PDP aspirant for Nsirubium State Constituency, Barrister Ekoko Solomon, commended the people of Nsirubium and his supporters for standing by him. Barrister Solomon noted the effective and visionary leadership style of Governor Akpabio and the supportive role of his wife Ekaete towards the successful primaries in the state. He affirmed the people's support for the ruling People's Democratic Party leadership in the state, saying the resolve is predicated on achievements recorded by Governor Akpabio in the state. The former aspirant assured his supporters not to be wary, as God will turn things around, but advised that they should not allow self-seeking politicians to mortgage their conscience. Different speakers at the event, including the Director General of Ekokoye Break Campaign Organization, Otuekong Friday Ekpan, Elder Sonny Williams, reaffirmed their support for Udom Emmanuel. Etienne Ibanga reporting.
Medical and Gospel Crusade has commenced in Etina. The event, which is taking place at Ikonfon Community Primary School grounds, is organized by Christ Ambassadors for World Evangelism and Mission, KAWEM. The leader of the team, the Reverend Ohali George Nsirim, said, for everyone to effectively serve God, he or she must first have a sound body. Hence, KAWEM's decision to organize a free medical treatment for the people in the morning before the crusade in the evening. He called on the people of Etina to avail themselves of the opportunity to be treated both physically and spiritually.
We don't go to any community except we hear from God to tell us to go this place. So we have gone to places like Obakere. We have gone to places like Arochukwu.
The coordinator of Christian Ambassadors for World Evangelism and Mission, KAWEM, in Etina local government, Engineer Anthony Akpadok, said he was impressed by the organization's aim and objectives of offering humanitarian services as well as bringing light to communities through the preaching of the word. Hence his decision to coordinate the group in Etina, and appreciated them for the free medical treatment given to the people. In an interview with AKBC 45 News, some beneficiaries of the free medical treatment were full of appreciation for the organizers.
So I am more than happy for the coming, bringing this kind blessing to the people of Etina local government. I am more than happy.
Kembunum iko abase beneri mi ki konfon mbunum ye gbun mbunum ye do mbunu ada do meweri bo boko agbanagban kempo nyenem meweri bo mo na nyen fon ekpeke de peku mi yanga kpo meweri ko bi ko abase mewosi gi do ekru boko de na yesen inem nyina ise eti.
The 2014 edition of the Kaurogeshit Community Football Cup in Etimepo local government area has begun. The first match, which was between Ntarinyang and Ikorinyang, took place at QIC Group School, Urugi Corner Field, and ended in a 2-0 victory in favor of Ntarinyang at the first half of the tournament. Celebrating with other players, Itiobong, who scored the first goal in the 15 minutes, thank God for His grace.
Advantage through in the 18. Can they convert that? It is a goal! Goal number 2 for Ntarinyang.
Addressing the players, the chairman on the occasion, Mr. Fion Ebon, advised the players to ignore criticism and adopt the spirit of fair play and peace as this season dictates. Represented by Mr. Nwangite, he said the match is expected to foster love and unity among youths in the area. The opening ceremonies, which also featured a kick-off by Mr. Nwangite, had in attendance the Director of News and Current Affairs of AKBC, Comfortmana, who was the mother of the day, as well as youths from neighboring villages. You can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging on to akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45U or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. And now to end the news, the main point again. The state government has begun the distribution of insecticidal nets to households in Akwa Ibom. Representatives of donor agencies and malaria control partners participated in the exercise. Also, government has ordered the immediate release of all imported tricycles by the task force set up for that purpose. The Commissioner for Transport, Prince Godwin Togode, gave the order during an unscheduled visit to the task force premises in Ikwarepone Road, Uyu. That's it on our package of this morning. Our next news bulletin will be at noon. I'm Jeffrey.